affect you the next day.
And companies don't allow drinking on the job, so I don't think that would be a problem. Private companies would still prohibit it because all the businessmen in downtown Seattle, they never drink at lunchtime. Yeah. Never. All right. No, look, I could argue either side of this. I really could. There's no way that somebody who smokes pot or does any other drug, as long as they're not messing with somebody else, with some innocent person, there's no way those people should go to jail for that. In a free country, it makes zero sense to me that people should go to jail for that. All right. I'm glad you called. John, thanks. I'll get right back to your phone calls. 888-97-3 Cairo. Lots more to come on the Dory Monson Show. All right, you just heard from former Seattle Police Chief Norm Stamper, who says all drugs, should be legalized in our country. What do you say? Back to the phones. Ken, Federal Way. Hey, Ken, you're on News Talk 97.3 Cairo FM.
Hey, Dory. Obviously, that police chief has never known anybody that smoked pot on a regular basis. We're becoming a less and less productive country. Companies are sending their work overseas because it's cheaper, but also they get more for their buck. People are more productive in other countries. They want to work harder. Pot and video games doesn't really help us. So the thing is that, I don't think these people should go to jail. Give them community service, and then if they don't go to community service because they're so, smoked out, that they should go to jail. But when it comes down to it, they're in their own hell. They're smoking pot. They're unproductive. They're
Agreed.
lazy.
Okay, but why should we put them in prison if they're smoking pot? If they are making themselves unproductive, then it just makes the competition that much easier for you if you aren't getting all bent up once in a while.
That's true, but it's also a gateway drug. The guy, where's he getting his facts? Everybody I knew that was doing pot went on to something else. Every single one.
But he thinks all the something else's should be legal too.
You know what? He doesn't know what he's talking about. He needs to get his facts straight. You're talking about one little itty-bitty country. Try multiplying that by 1 million, and then let's try to see how those numbers work. I mean, if they don't want to do their job because they're not going in there and actually, making things better, they're politically just not doing it right. If you actually called it the war on drugs and did it like a war, not like the one that Bush just did, but the one we did in World War II and actually went in there and kicked ass, we get this thing taken care of in a weekend. We go down to
I don't buy that for a second. We've spent billions on this so-called war, and I mean, first of all, our borders, we can't keep people out. We certainly can't keep drugs out. Did you see that there was that 18-foot boat up by, I think it was Nia Bay, came in with, 60,000 ecstasy tablets that they think came in from Canada, but the guy got 22-year-old guy driving the boat, and that was just this weekend. All right, Ken, glad you called. Thanks. Let's go to Dennis in Marble Mount. Hey, Dennis, you're on News Talk 97.3 Cairo FM.
Hey, Dory, thanks, buddy. I'm up here in the beautiful Skagit Valley, and I'm tending let's just say my tomato plants.
Okay.
And if you...
I've heard that there are a lot of tomato growers in Skagit County.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, harvest time's coming up, and I wanted to check in and chime in on this because legalization would affect us in a couple ways. One...
Are you high right now? Your giggling makes me have to ask, Dennis. Are you high right now?
No, because I told your producer that you're going to be the last guy that I ever call to go up and party with because you don't seem to do anything.
You are. You're just hired a kite right now, aren't you, Dennis?
Yeah. No, I'm not. No, seriously.
Okay.
I just got to get...
Hey, by the way, I'm more fun straight than most people high, by the way.
What's that?
I'm more fun straight than most people high.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gosh, I wish I knew more people like you.
Yeah, okay. All right.
But anyway, back to what I wanted to... My point was, sir, that governments... It'll never be legal because governments are run by the corruption, and if people would just educate themselves and look into the facts, going back to the 60s, and I won't even bore you with all that, the amount of drugs that were traded for arms and in Iran-Contra and blah, blah, blah. All
Yeah,
that.
but again,
it's a joke. Man.
Well, but
it's
supposedly,
a topic.
Supposedly you get rid of the black market with legalization. The problem is, is our governments corrupt? Yeah. Do I think that if they do it, it'll be out of some moral clarity that they don't want to imprison people who aren't messing with others? No. I think they will do it for tax revenues and tax revenues only, and that they won't give much concern at all to what the social ramifications are of the policy. Okay, I'll get right back to your phone calls. Dennis, thank you very much. That opens up the line for you, 888-97-3 Cairo. One more segment of your calls on legalizing drugs coming up on the Dory Monson Show. Well, let's get back to your phone calls. By the way, right after the top of the hour, a webcam exclusive. If you go to mynorthwest.com, the Dory Monson Show page, we are streaming the show live. I will unveil live on the webcam the gruesome injury that I suffered yesterday afternoon. I mean, and we're going to have a little contest, see if anybody can guess how I got injured. But wait till you see the effects of this injury. Wait until you see this. So go right now, mynorthwest.com, the Dory Monson Show page. We don't want to crash the system because all the German kids are going to be hopping on right at the top of the hour, too, for the hour number 2 echo. But go to mynorthwest.com, the Dory Monson Show page, and get on the webcam. And I will show you live the effects of the gruesome injury that I suffered yesterday. I mean, this is the sort of thing that should make the internet illegal, putting things like this on the web, okay? So that's right after the top of the hour. All right, let's get back to your phone calls on legalizing drugs. Russ is in Seattle. Hey, Russ, you're on News Talk 97.3 Cairo FM.
Well, good afternoon, Dory.
Hello, Russ.
Hey, I was out in Philadelphia in a conference last month, and one of the little booths that they had at this thing was a bunch of guys walking around saying legalize drugs. And I went to talk to them, and they were all cops. And he was explaining to me how he was pretty much the same thing as the former mayor there, that, you know, we've spent, I was telling Phil, he said $1 trillion, but Phil was even saying, that's a bit much. But the amount of money we spend on the enforcement of getting these illegal drugs off the street, it's just causing more and more of them to come in. He said when he was a cop, this was a cop of 24 years.
Yeah.
He said when he was a cop, they came in with a bag of dope that he got off a guy. That was a big thing back in the early 70s. He goes, now they flood the border with 10, 20 rigs of cocaine, knowing that 3 or 4 of them are going to get caught, and then get 16 coming into the country.
Well, and that's why I give this a little more credibility than if it was coming from, some group that's, had maybe more ulterior motives. But, this law enforcement against prohibition, as Norm Stamper told me, they got 10,000 cops, former cops, judges, all kinds of people in law enforcement who just believe the war on drugs is not only futile, but it's also counterproductive.
And matter of fact, when I go home this afternoon, I'll see if I can find this individual's website, and I'll send that to you. And you can go. I don't think it's the same group as the mayor. But you can look at it, and it's got I went on it one time, I read it. It's got some great information. And as opposed to spending that money on fighting drugs and trying to get them off the streets, legalize the drugs and then take that money that you would spend and put it toward rehab, getting these people, the help they need as opposed to just throwing them into prison.
I'm all for that, although I will say those pools of money would not go to rehab. They would get hijacked by sleazy politicians for causes that they think will get them reelected. Because that's what happened to the tobacco settlement money. All right. Hey, send me that link if you find it, Russ. I'd appreciate that. And thanks for the call. Let's go to Barbara in Everett. Barbara, you're on News Talk 97.3 Cairo FM.
Hey, I wanted to kind of look at public health. In the good old days when there were a few illegal drugs out and available to kids or people, when they came to the emergency room to be treated, you could quickly ascertain what was in their system and treat them appropriately. Now that the kids are going to these pill parties and you don't know what in God's names are in their system, it takes forever to treat them, or sometimes you can't treat them. so I could go both ways on this. It could crush the healthcare system, or if we educated people, legalized the drugs, had, kind of did like we did with, drinking and driving campaigns,
right,
and to see if this would work. I mean, and the biggest horrendous accidents, like that train down in California that where all those people were killed, the conductor was not drinking, he was not on drugs, he was texting a message.
Yeah.
I think cell phones are causing as much, financial and heartbreaking injury as anything else.
Yeah, they're not causing as many, but I know there's some studies that say the level of impairment is the same for the distracted drivers. Okay, I got to run with that. I'm glad you called, Barbara. Thank you. All right, coming up right after the news, live on the webcam. And, you might think I'm overselling this. I'm going to show you the horrible, horrible injury. It's